A knight in exquisite silver armor is seen resting under a tree. He soon wakes up and wonders where he is. He quickly notices that he is fully equipped with powerful gear. He is wearing the holy armor of Belenus, which has overwhelming attributes, along with the supreme dark cloak known as the Twilight Cloak. He also carries the holy shield of Tutates, which possesses incredible defensive power, and the lightning-attributed holy thunder sword, Caladbolg. He soon realizes that he has been reincarnated as his own game character Ark. After testing his abilities with a sword slash, he also successfully casts a fire spell. Ark later looks at his reflection in a clear stream and discovers that his avatar is actually a skeleton. He immediately realizes that he can never remove his helmet in front of other people. Otherwise, he would simply become someone else's source of experience points. At Luvirte Castletown, Ark heads to the Mercenary Guild and asks the guild official to issue him a license. The official explains that he must first pass a trial by hunting any 3 monsters or defeating bandits. Ark then enters the forest and quickly defeats 2 monster boars before taking down a large orc as his third target. As he makes his way back, Ark comes across a group of bandits attempting to take advantage of a noble lady and her maid. He immediately defeats the bandits and rescues them. The grateful maid introduces the noblewoman as Lauren Laraya du Luvirte of the Luvirte family while introducing herself as Rita. Ark then accompanies the 2 women back to town before delivering his hunting loot to the guild official. The official is surprised that Ark completes the trial before the day is over and promptly issues him a mercenary license. Afterward, Ark heads to an inn and enjoys his dinner in his room. A young woman prepares a simple breakfast of bread and soup for her 2 daughters before heading out to work. Meanwhile, Ark sets out for his first mercenary job, which is to escort someone gathering medicinal herbs. When he arrives at the client's house, he discovers that the request was made by the older sister, Marka. Marka is surprised by Ark's imposing appearance and nervously asks if he truly intends to accept her request. Ark assures her that he is actually interested in herb gathering. As Ark accompanies Marka into the forest, he learns that gathering medicinal herbs was originally her father's job. After her father's death, the responsibility falls on her mother, so Marka decides to help her family by doing whatever she can. While searching for herbs, they come across a multi-tailed green kitsune with a cut on one of its legs. Ark uses healing magic to treat its injury. The creature immediately becomes attached to him, and after Marka suggests giving it a name, Ark names it Ponta. Back in town, the guards receive news that dangerous monsters have been spotted in the forest. One of the guards informs Marka's mother, Siona, that Marka had entered the woods earlier with Ark, leaving her deeply worried about her daughter's safety. Deep inside the forest, a giant basilisk suddenly attacks Marka. Ark quickly rescues her and avoids the poisonous fog released by the monster. The basilisk relentlessly continues its assault, but Ark repeatedly uses Dimensional Move to evade every attack. As he protects Marka, he withstands the monster's barrage before unleashing a top-tier combat-class sword technique. The devastating slash cuts the giant basilisk in 2 with a single strike. Marka is left completely amazed and plans to tell the villagers about what happened, but Ark asks her to keep everything a secret because he wants to maintain a low profile. Before returning, he also defeats a massive fanged boar and brings it back to the village. Siona is overjoyed to see her daughter return safely, while Ark apologizes for taking Marka into the forest without consulting her first. Meanwhile, in another part of the forest, a mercenary party made up of knights struggles to defeat another giant basilisk. Although they eventually succeed, the battle leaves 15 members dead and 38 others injured. After the fight, their leader discovers the corpse of the other basilisk that has been cleanly cut down with a single strike. Seeing the overwhelming power behind the attack, he cannot help but believe that the one responsible must be either a god or a devil. Ark enters a cave and defeats a group of brigands. After the battle, he discovers a large chest filled with gold coins. He also notices 2 empty cages, but decides not to think much about them and plans to take the treasure home instead. Meanwhile, at Diento Castle, Lord Triton du Diento receives a report that the assassination attempt on Lauren Laraya has failed because of the intervention of a single mercenary. Furious, he asks about the beasts that were released into the Luvirte territory. His subordinate reports that although the experimental beasts are still in the testing phase, both have already been slain. Triton orders his men to make sure the products are secured at all costs. His subordinates acknowledge the command before taking their leave. As Ark leaves the cave with his loot, he is suddenly attacked by a female elf warrior. She accuses him of kidnapping children and demands that he return them, believing he is one of the bandits. Ark tries to explain that she has misunderstood the situation, but she refuses to listen. However, everything changes when she notices Ponta, whom she recognizes as a Ventu Vulpes. a spirit creature known for being extremely cautious and rarely forming bonds even with elves. She finally decides to trust Ark and explains that she is searching for fellow elves who have been captured and are being sold as slaves for high prices. Ark tells her that there are no slaves inside the cave. She then declines his offer to help and quickly leaves to continue her search. The following day, Ark arrives at the elf forest and comes across a group of slave hunters transporting several young female elves. The group is led by Eudolan, the son of Lord Tridden Dudiento. Before Ark can intervene, the female elf warrior swiftly attacks the slave hunters and begins defeating them. However, the situation quickly turns against her when Eudolan threatens the captured girls. Ark immediately steps in and knocks Eudolan unconscious, allowing the elf warrior to finish off the remaining slave hunters. After the battle, Ark uses his magic to remove the Mana-Eater neck cuffs from the captured elves and heals their injuries. The female elf warrior is impressed by his abilities and realizes that Ark is no ordinary knight. Ark introduces himself and Ponta, while the elf warrior introduces herself as Ariane. Shortly afterward, Ariane receives another request to rescue captured elves, and she decides to hire Ark to assist her. Ark cannot help but ask Ariane whether her people will feel uncomfortable with his presence. Ariane explains that she has realized he holds no prejudice against elves. She also reminds him that he willingly helped rescue the children earlier, which is why she has decided to trust him. Ark acknowledges her words and agrees to help. The two later meet one of Ariane's comrades, Danka, who is immediately wary of Ark and does not trust him. Ariane reassures Danka that Ark is a reliable person and someone they can depend on. Danka then reveals that he has located the enemy's base of operations near an entertainment district. He believes the missing elves are being held there. Since they will not begin their operation until nightfall, Ark decides to visit the mercenary guild to submit his loot and tells them he will return within an hour. After Ark leaves, Danka asks Ariane if they can really trust him. Ariane confidently replies that if it were not for Ark, she would have been captured as well. Later that night, the group infiltrates the enemy's hideout. Once inside, they discover that every slave hunter in one of the rooms has already been killed in their sleep with a single slash across the throat. They decide to split up and search the area separately. During his search, Ark encounters a furry-eared ninja who launches a surprise attack. Ark effortlessly blocks all of her attacks. However, after noticing that Ponta is a spirit creature, the ninja decides to trust him. She tells Ark where the captured elves are being held and hands him a document explaining that it will be useful to him and his allies. She also reveals that 2 more elves are being held inside the Lord's manor before taking her leave. Ark later reunites with Ariane and Danka and shows them the document. They discover that it is a slave contract, which reveals that Lord Triton is directly involved in the slave trade. The group then rescues the captured elf girls. Ark uses teleportation magic to safely transport everyone away from the hideout before removing the sealing curse placed on the girls, leaving Danka completely astonished by his abilities. Danka volunteers to escort the rescued girls to safety, while he asks Ark and Ariane to continue the mission and rescue the remaining elves. Ark and Ariane storm Lord Triton's manor and successfully rescue the 2 remaining female elves. While Ariane confronts and defeats Lord Triton, Ark discovers a hidden room filled with gold bars and piles of gold coins, which he stores away. The two then use teleportation magic to escape just as the manor erupts in flames. Ark concludes that the explosion is most likely the work of the furry-eared ninja they encountered earlier. Afterward, Ariane asks Ark what he plans to do next. Ark admits that he has no particular destination in mind. Ariane then invites him to visit the elf lands with her, and asks if he would continue helping her rescue her fellow elves. Ark wonders whether the elves would even welcome an outsider like him. Ariane explains that they will first need to meet with the village elder and obtain permission. However, Ark remains concerned about revealing his true appearance. Trusting Ariane, he removes his helmet and reveals his skeletal face, claiming that it is the result of a curse since he cannot explain that he was reincarnated into this world. Ariane promises never to use his secret against him and assures him that it will remain safe among the elves. She also believes that the elders may know of a way to lift his curse. Meanwhile, in Olav, the capital of the Roden Kingdom, the king asks for a report on the incident involving Lord Triton. The first prince, Sect, explains that the culprit remains unknown, although rumors suggest that the elves are responsible. The second prince, Dakares, immediately rebukes Sect for trying to tarnish the reputation of the nobility with nothing more than rumors. The king then assigns Princess Uriarna to travel to Limbolt and make the necessary arrangements so that the kingdom can open discussions with the elves. Uriarna accepts the order, and the meeting is dismissed. Later that night, Ark and Ariane continue their journey through the forest toward Lalatoya, the homeland of the elves. After traveling through the night, They finally arrive on a clear and peaceful morning. Ariane asks Ark to wait for her while she enters the settlement to seek permission from the elder. She returns only at sunset and apologizes for the delay, explaining that she has finally obtained approval. With permission granted, they proceed into the settlement together. Inside, they meet the village elder, Dylan. His wife introduces herself as Glenys, who is also revealed to be Ariane's mother. Ark is surprised by this and learns that Glenys is 245 years old, revealing just how long-lived elves truly are. Dylan then listens to the explanation behind the attack on Lord Triton's manor. He states that the matter must be brought before the general meeting of elders and that the trafficking contract will also be presented as evidence. The following day, Dylan and Ariane travel to the land of Maple, where they attend the general meeting of elders. The chief elder Brion asks for a report regarding the trafficking of elves and the situation surrounding it. Meanwhile, Glenys guides Ark around the large settlement. Ark learns that the settlement has absorbed several smaller surrounding communities for security purposes, now totaling around 4,000 residents. During the tour, he also reunites with some of the girls he previously rescued from Udolan. Glenys then asks Ark if he would like to spar with her. Back at the meeting after extensive discussion, Chief Elder Brion orders that operations to liberate their captured kin will continue, while carefully monitoring the Rodent Kingdom's response. Meanwhile, Ark finds himself overwhelmed in a sword spar with Glenys, who is revealed to be a dark elf and a highly skilled swordswoman. Elsewhere, Ariane learns from her father that her sister Even is soon to be married, which surprises her since Even is known to be completely devoted to combat. Ariane later meets Even directly. Dylan and Ariane eventually return home. Dylan then proposes formally hiring Ark to continue assisting Ariane in rescuing their kin. In return, he offers information that may help break the curse on Ark's body. He explains that within the Lake of the Lord Crown lies a rare great tree that grows in the territory of a dragon lord, and they will help him gain access to it. Grateful for the offer, Ark agrees to accept their assistance and support their mission. Ark is seen lying on a bed as he attempts to cast an uncursing spell on his hand. For a brief moment, his hand reverts back into a human form, but it quickly dissipates and returns to its skeletal state. Through this, he confirms that his current appearance is indeed the result of a curse. The next day, Ark and Ariane set out toward Olav. On the way, they stop at a tavern for dinner. During the meal, Ariane suggests taking a shortcut through the forest. However, the tavern attendant warns them that the forest is dangerous due to haunted wolves that roam within it. Despite the warning, both Ariane and Ark judge that the threat should not be significant given their abilities. The following morning, Princess Uriarna departs with only a small number of guards due to the urgency of reaching Limbolt as quickly as possible. At the same time, Ark and Ariane travel through the forest, where they are attacked by haunted wolves. These monsters hunt in packs and create multiple illusions of themselves to confuse and overwhelm their prey. During the battle, Ark identifies the true pack leader perched on a cliff. He teleports to its position and notices a dark ring on its hind leg, similar to those seen on other monsters he has previously defeated. He destroys the object, causing the pack leader to regain its senses. It howls, signaling the rest of the pack, and the remaining wolves immediately retreat. Meanwhile, Princess Uriarna's carriage is ambushed during her journey. Ark arrives in time to intervene, partly due to Ponta's agitation that leads him to the scene. With the assistance of the now calmed haunted wolves, he defeats the attackers. He then uses regeneration magic to heal Uriarna and the injured escorts. However, when they regain consciousness, they find no trace of their savior. Despite the attack, Uriarna insists on continuing their journey to Limbolt without delay. Ark and Ariane later arrive in Olav, where they encounter the furry-eared ninja once again. It is revealed that the furry-eared ninja has been traveling across different regions to rescue beast people who have been captured by humans. She had first encountered Ark at Lord Triton's manor, and now meets him again in Olav. She introduces herself as Chiome, one of the 6 ninjas of the Jinshin clan. Chiome requests their help in freeing the captured beast people. In return, she offers information about the location of slave payment routes. Ariane agrees to her request, as she sees similarities between Chiome's struggle and her own mission to save her kin. The group later arrives at Etzot Market, the largest slave market in the capital. Ark states that he and Ariane will also assist in the operation, revealing that his teleportation magic can be useful for their plan. Chiome is relieved and immediately rushes off to inform her comrades. Later, they regroup in the forest, where Chiome introduces another member of the Jinshin clan's 6 ninjas, Goemon. Goemon and Ark then take the lead in launching a frontal assault on the slave market. Their objective is to create chaos and draw the attention of the enemies, allowing Chiome and Ariane to infiltrate the facility unnoticed. Chiomei and Ariane enter the prison area and quickly eliminate the guards they encounter. They successfully reach the section where the slaves are being held and begin freeing them. After regrouping with Ark and Goemon, they learn that one final building still needs to be checked. Goemon volunteers to stay behind and hold off any incoming reinforcements, while the other three proceed to rescue the remaining captives. Once all the prisoners are gathered, Ark uses teleportation magic to transport the rescued beast people in batches to safety. At the same time, Goemon becomes exhausted while fending off continuous waves of reinforcements. Ark suddenly appears beside him and swiftly defeats the attackers before teleporting Goemon away from the battlefield. Meanwhile, Prince Dakares learns that Etsat Market has been destroyed by the group that invaded to rescue the beast people. He attempts to go out personally, but he is killed by his most trusted subordinate, who is revealed to be working for Prince Sect. Sect then orders the subordinate to spread false information, claiming that Princess Yuriarna was killed as part of a scheme orchestrated by Prince Dakares, allowing Sect to position himself as the sole heir to the throne. Chiomei later informs Ark and Ariane that the rescued people are now safe under protection. She expresses her gratitude for their help and offers to provide the promised intelligence as repayment. Elsewhere, Princess Yuriarna arrives at the Grand Duchy of Limbolt, where she reunites with her sister. She learns that false reports claim she has been killed by Prince Dakares, who himself was also killed by his subordinate, General Centurion. Sensing that something is wrong, Yuriarna suspects deeper political manipulation. She instructs her sister to keep her survival a secret, so she can observe the unfolding situation quietly and proceed with her own plans to meet the elves. Using the information provided by Chiomei, Ark, and Ariane learn that the enslaved elves have been transported to the Holy Revlon Empire in the east. Without delay, they set out toward the empire. At the imperial capital of the Holy Revlon Empire, Emperor Domitianus receives reports confirming that Prince Dakares has been slain by Prince Sect, and that Princess Yuriarna is presumed dead. He is also informed that their lackey, Fumba, reports his plan to destabilize the kingdom of Roden is progressing smoothly. In the desert, Ark and Ariane encounter a group of flying wyverns. Ark responds by casting a high-level lightning spell, releasing a barrage of lightning bolts that force the wyverns to retreat immediately. At a distance, a figure stands atop a cliff, calmly observing and recording Ark's actions. Later, Ark and Ariane rest at a tavern while discussing their next destination using a map. A young elf man approaches them and introduces himself as Karsi Held. He does not hide his pointed ears and appears to have a good relationship with the townspeople. He explains that he has lived in the town for 10 years after developing an interest in it. Karsi states that he earns a living by studying monster biology. He mentions that several recent specimens have become troublesome and believes Ark and Ariane are strong enough to help him capture them. Ariane is initially hesitant to accept, but Karsi offers them a detailed map of the Holy Revlon Empire along with his monster research notebook. Ark becomes interested in the information and agrees to help. The next morning, Ark and Ariane meet Karsi at the town entrance. He introduces them to a friend who provides Ariane with tea to help ease her motion sickness. During the journey, Karsi explains that he is searching for sandworms he estimates to be 4 to 5 meters long. However, when they encounter one in the desert, it turns out to be far larger, around 30 meters in size. Ariane's fire attacks have no effect on the creature. Ariane is put in danger, but Ark quickly intervenes and delivers a powerful swing that overwhelms the massive sandworm. After subduing the monster, they collect the map and Karsi's research notes before continuing their journey. Ark and Ariane arrive at the border town of Kasek, confirming that they have entered the Holy Revlon Empire. They decide to split up and gather information about the kidnapped elves. By sunset, Ark learns that strange cries are heard from a fortress in the east during the night, and that monsters have recently begun appearing near the edges of the Empire's territory. People have also been disappearing, and the town appears far less secure than expected, with no clear information about the elves. During his search, Ark rescues a woman from 3 gangsters who are revealed to be Fumba's subordinates. They are attempting to find victims to feed the monsters, but end up transformed into monsters themselves after failing their task. Meanwhile, Ariane reports that she has found information suggesting a group of elves were taken to a fortress 4 months earlier. Despite the low chances of survival, she insists on investigating. Together, they infiltrate the fortress and descend into its underground prison. Inside, they encounter Fumba. Suddenly, Ariane turns on Ark as if she is possessed and attacks him. Ark quickly uses uncursing magic, but her behavior does not stop. He then discovers the source of the control, an imp-like monster hidden beneath her cloak, casting illusions and manipulating her mind. Ponta destroys the creature, causing Ariane to collapse unconscious. Fumba then reveals his true identity as a monster sorcerer who can command monsters at will. Ark demands answers about the kidnapped elves, but Fumba claims they were already used long ago for magic experiments or fed to monsters. Enraged, Ark unleashes a furious assault, cutting down the waves of monsters Fumba sends at him. As one of the monsters attempts to attack the unconscious Ariane, Kiyomei arrives in time to rescue her. She also informs Fumba that her group has already eliminated the monsters surrounding the area. At that moment, a massive roar echoes through the underground structure, shaking the fortress itself. The entire area begins to collapse, forcing everyone to escape outside. Once outside, they witness a gigantic Hydra emerging before them. The Hydra launches a violent attack against Ark's group, but they survive thanks to a protective shield cast by Ark. After learning what happened to the kidnapped elves earlier, Ariane becomes enraged and insists that they immediately deal with Fumba. However, Ark decides to take responsibility for the approaching Hydra, which is heading toward the nearby town, while Ariane and Kiyomei proceed to confront Fumba directly. Ark engages the Hydra in battle and manages to sever several of its heads, but the creature rapidly regenerates them. Realizing its regeneration makes it difficult to defeat, Ark teleports a distance away and summons the infernal demon, Ifrit, to assist him. Meanwhile, Ariane and Kiyomei face Fumba. They succeed in destroying the markings that allow him to control monsters. With his power disabled, Ariane delivers punishment, burning Fumba alive as retribution for his crimes. Back in the battlefield, Ifrit overwhelms the Hydra, forcing it into a desperate attempt to flee. Ark stops its escape, lifts its enormous body into the air with a powerful strike, and allows Ifrit to unleash an overwhelming infernal flame attack. The Hydra is completely reduced to ashes. After the battle, Ariane receives a message through Danka's whispering fowl, informing her that Princess Uriarna has successfully met with an elder of the elves. The negotiations for coexistence are progressing well, and the Rodent Kingdom has agreed to assist in searching for the remaining missing elves. Ariane is surprised to learn that the humans are genuinely willing to help. With the situation stabilizing, Ariane declares that she will now take Ark to the Sacred Springs in order to break his curse. Ark, hearing this, becomes excited at the prospect. Thanks for watching. Check out this next video, and remember to subscribe Annie Zap.